Y'all know what time it is, man. We fucking back. Welcome back. Fucking Jones Hour. We live. We here. First and foremost, we gotta thank anybody that continue to show us support. You know, man, we had to take a hiatus. You know what I'm saying? We ain't been on this since the summer. You know what I mean? But I still seen it in the emails of the downloads of the old episodes, and people still fucking with us. So I appreciate that. You know what I mean? But I guess, are you to the left of me now? Maybe to the left of me on the screen. Producer, one and only, and Acid.
My guy, what's good? How you doing, bro? And to the right of me, the one, the only, Jonesy 2 times, baby. Jonesy fucking 2 times.
You're ready. Yeah, man, it feels good to be back, man. Live on the live stream, so we appreciate you now. Obviously, we don't have too many people gonna join the live right about now, but hopefully, as we get this back going, every Sunday you gonna be able to fuck with us and tap in. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Right now, you're catching us. We are live on YouTube. Probably following. I would probably say the next episode that we end up doing, we'll end up doing Instagram as well. But right now we are live on YouTube.
Fire. So you already know. You already know the Jones Hour. Hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend, and like you already know, man. We appreciate all the love. But we back, man. This is season 5 now, for the 5th year. We about to get into this. You know what I mean? And we're not gonna stop, man. We're not gonna stop. Dynamic duo, man. Jones and Acid. You know what I mean?
Sir.
We here, man.
Yes, fucking sir.
Word, man. So how you been, man? How's life, man?
Life's good, man. Work's been busy. Can't complain. I feel blessed, man. Every day is could be a scary one. And especially right now, the world is going a little crazy, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling blessed, bro.
Word, we won't talk about that in Conspiracy Corner at the end of the show. But yeah. Nah, I feel you. But man, for the most part, yeah, man, everything's good. Life is blessed. I'm feeling blessed. You know what I'm saying? Family good. That's the way it's gotta be, man. So sending out them good vibes to everybody that's been fucking with us and all of that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
But let's get right into the NFL, man. It's the playoffs, man.
All right, man.
Playoffs, man.
What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the wild card games that we just
Yeah. I mean, well, we had 2 games yesterday already, so let's update that. We've seen the 4:00 game was the Rams and the Panthers, which was a fucking great game. Rams and Panthers, great game. Like back and forth. Stafford and this kid Bryce Young, he made a good name for himself. You know what I mean? He was able to, do things that we haven't seen from him before. You know what I mean? Like, he was always a question mark. After his first year, he was considered a bust. They finished strong at the end of the season and actually took the division away from Tampa, who was going in as the favorite after what they did last year with Baker, even though they did get hit with a big injury bug. But I mean, they got Godwin and Evans, the 2 players that always get injured. You know what I mean? So I mean, it should be expected for them to go through that, especially if you have them on fantasy. You already know what I'm talking about. But Tampa was still the favorite, you know what I'm saying? And Carolina at the end of the season wound up coming in and stealing that victory. And they played good yesterday. They played good with Stafford and they kept pace with the Rams and they scored with like 2 minutes left and change left. You know what I mean? But it was too much time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Rams got the ball back, 2 minutes and like 30-something seconds left, marched down the field, got into the end zone with about 38 seconds left to get Carolina the ball back. But it was just, not enough time for them to get into the field goal range that I needed to at least push it to overtime, and they lose by 3. But Rams, they, that was the one thing that's crazy about this NFC West division this year. They had 3 teams with 12 plus wins, with the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't really get that in one division. Rarely, 3 teams that are that dominant. So you could see these Rams, even though they're a wild card team, they very well could be a divisional leader if it was different. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
the same thing with San Fran. So the Rams and Panthers game was great, fucking yesterday. Then the night game, with the Rams winning that at the end. Then the night game, another thriller between Green Bay and Chicago. And I mean, the most of the game was all Green Bay. You know what I mean? They're away. They're silencing the crowd. They're making big plays. They have a sizable lead. Like 21-6 or whatever it is. But then the fourth quarter came and the outcome was different. And this kid Caleb Williams, man, like we've seen it over and over again this entire season. We've seen it over and over again of him coming back and making these drives and things like that. Can we lower the music a little or cut it?
What was that?
The music in the background.
Oh yeah, I got you right now.
Yeah, but the Packers, they pardon that. Packers, they was winning the whole game. And like I said, Caleb Williams, he's able to make these fourth quarter comebacks that we've seen throughout the season to get them where they're at. You know what I'm saying? To get them as their 2 seed and almost a 1 seed if it wasn't for that week 17 game against San Fran or 16. You know what I mean? Because that was really the decider right there of if they was gonna be able to take the number 1 seed, but instead Seattle took that last week of the season. But yeah, man, Green Bay fumbled the bag, and Chicago comes through and again another game-winning drive, 2 impactful, highly intense playoff games to start. So we got the Bears advancing so far, and who played and the Rams. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then the games today, we got Bills Jaguars going on right now. It's 13-10. About 5 seconds left into the third quarter. Jacksonville is in the red zone. On a successful first down play, got about 4 yards, getting them with around inside the 15. So they're looking like they could possibly score. But this has been another good game right here, as we say it. Like 13-10 going into the fourth quarter. Bills, Jaguars, 2 teams. Like Bills got a lot to prove with Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Can he finally get over the hump? Jaguars, up-and-coming team, shocked, came through, won the division. You know what I mean? These are two big games. I mean, 2 big teams. Then at 4 o'clock, we got Niners, Eagles going on. Niners was a favorite on a lot of people's teams to make the Super Bowl, this year.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles, obviously the defending champs, so they got something to prove. And almost a chip on their shoulder, I feel. The way they've been playing. I guess we got to shout out Rev, Q Borough Cuts, 9506 89th Street. Make sure you go through and get a cut there. Ozone Park, 11416. Q Borough Cuts. Rev, one of the barbers there, big Eagles fan. But
who do you have winning?
I have the 49ers winning. I got the 49ers coming in and doing damage. I mean, they have a lot of injuries and there's a lot of question marks on their team and whatnot. But, McCaffrey is still dominant. Kittle is still a problem. Purdy, if he got the time, he could do a lot of things. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be San Fran's defense that's going to be what the deciding factor is. You know what I mean? Because I think 49ers is going to score, but we know the Eagles could score too.
Yeah.
I think if the 49ers could get the timely stops, they can win the game. And I believe they will do that. You know what I mean? Eagles have had a lot of turmoil within the team and in the clubhouse and whatnot throughout the season. That's gone public with AJ Brown and others. And I feel like with their back against the wall in adversity, they'll start to point fingers as opposed to come together. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But I got the 49ers being the Eagles. And then the night game, the night game will be the Chargers and the Patriots. You know, and I mean, Chargers is a good team, young and up and coming, and you know Justin Herbert, you know, kind of like did his thing this year. You know,
Yeah.
And getting him to the playoffs. I think a lot of that had to do with Harbaugh getting hired and coming there, you know, and getting him over this hump and getting into the playoffs. But New England and Vrabel and the way Drake May has been playing, even though he's the youngest quarterback in there, I think they got a lot around him where, you know, even if he was to make like maybe a young mistake, they'll still be able to hold them down and overcome that. And I definitely got the Patriots winning tonight. Definitely. Patriots taking the night game. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right,
and then in the Monday night game, we got the Texans and the Steelers. You feel what I mean? And I know a lot of people are on the Aaron Rodgers bandwagon in Pittsburgh and Tomlin and whatnot, but I'm going with the Texans, man. I'm going with Houston. That defense is nice. They know how to get it done on the defensive side of the ball. And, you know, defense wins games. You know what I mean? And I think Houston can do enough offensively to capitalize as long as they don't, you know, fuck themselves up. You know? They can't turn the ball over and give the teams opportunity. You give Aaron Rodgers short field opportunity because of a turnover, it's probably going to lead to 6 points. Like, let's be real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't shoot yourself in the foot. You got to play almost picture perfect football on offense, even if and play the field position. You know what I mean? Get your, you know, flip flop the fields, even if you go 3 and out, or, you know, don't take no big chances on 4th down unless you're in their territory. You know what I mean? And play that field position, hard-nosed game where, you know, your defense is going to be the statement that wins the game, and your offense is going to do just enough to come out on top. So I'm going Houston on that. Yeah, so and I got the Bills right now. I'm rooting for the Bills. If
rooting for the Bills?
I am.
You going for the last New York team?
Yeah, I mean, even though they shitted on the Yankees, I mean, I still was a Buffalo fan from a long time ago. You know what I mean?
When did they shit on the Yankees?
When they rooted for Toronto over the summer in the playoffs and shit. They made weird. They made a post and was like, good luck to our neighbor of the north and shit like that, like you fucking Jon Snow and shit. Yeah, and then shared a picture of the fucking Blue Jays and shit. Not the team in your state, you know what I mean? But them right there, like, oh, our neighbors over here, our guys, our friends.
It's probably easier.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
be non-biased and just go to your yeah,
it's definitely closer. You know what I mean? You're probably talking a fucking maybe an hour or 2 ride from fucking Buffalo to Toronto or whatever, but it's fucking 8 hours to fucking Queens. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I understand it, but still, bro. Like, but I'm still rooting for Buffalo because my prediction, if we got a Jones Stradamus. We got a Jones Stradamus. We got a Jones Stradamus. I'm telling you right now, the vision is coming to me. I could predict the future. The Super Bowl this year will be the LA Rams versus the Buffalo Bills. You're welcome. Jones Stradamus has spoken. You know what I mean? You feel what I mean? So, Rams, Bills. So I think the Bills is gonna win right now. Even though, like I said, you know, Jacksonville. But it's like if we're looking at all the stories in these games and whatnot, like Josh Allen right now is gonna be probably, aside from like maybe Matthew Stafford, which is the 2 teams that I'm picking, are like the top 2 quarterbacks left in the playoffs. There's no other teams probably left with better quarterbacks than them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Josh Allen, you know, has always lost a big game, but it's come at the hands of either Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow when it gets to the playoffs. Those three quarterbacks are not even there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What's standing in your way? What's stopping you from now achieving what's been expected of you? You know what I mean? And if it doesn't happen, you know what I mean? They might make a coaching change or whatnot. But the reality is that they got Josh Allen, but they haven't never really been able to get the top players since losing Stephon Diggs around him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like since they lost Stephon Diggs in the wide receiver spot, like they haven't got another clear number one wide receiver to replace him in that production. You know, and it's hard when you have just 2s and 3s, you know what I mean, left that you're playing, you know. And if you win, you know, you'll probably be having to now go to Denver. You know what I mean? You're going to go to Denver to play, you know, and they got a top defense. You know, Surtain is probably a top 5, without a doubt, cornerback in the league. You know what I mean? So you got to respect that. Damn. Oh, Jacksonville took the lead, 16-13. About to look like they're kicking the extra point. And it's good, 17-13. Jacksonville took the lead, 12:55 left. It's a tight one. It's a tight one, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta love this playoff football, man. You gotta love this shit, man. This shit fucking, it takes me there, bro. It fucking takes me there.
Not to try to speed off and move on, but do you want to get into our G-Men real quick?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Wait. Before we get into the G-Men, I see, like I said, yeah, Rams Bills. I feel like, yeah, those are the winners. Rams Bills. My bad. Yeah, well, let's go into the G-Men.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah. We had a crazy year. You know what I mean? Let's be real. It was up and down. You know what I mean? Dable was definitely clearly coaching for his job and not for the better of the team. You know what I mean? That's why Jackson Dart was rushed. Even though I don't know how you saw in mini camp that Russell Wilson was better than Jameis Winston as the best chance to win, but maybe because of Russell Wilson's statue and who he was, you know what I mean, and the name he was, you wanted to just give him that respect. But it was clear that he should have been the third string emergency quarterback, you know what I mean, and Jameis Winston should have been the one to start the season if we was legit trying to have Jackson Dart sit. You know what I mean? But it's clear that Dable was trying to get Dart in to show that he was there, to show that his pick was right and his choice was right, and that he's the guy to be coaching him for the future for the Giants to have success. But unfortunately, he got clipped. You know what I mean? Dable got clipped. Yeah. And Dart is him. Jackson Dart looks like he's him. I know he has a style of play and everything like that. And, you know, maybe the concussion is going to come into an effect or be a question mark. But when you talk about just skills and making the throws and the arm and the legs and the vision downfield, it's clear like this guy got it. You know what I mean? So we got the pieces in play. I think what's really going to be the determining factor of how well the Giants will be next year, it is the head coach. You know what I mean? We need somebody that's going to revive what the G-Men culture, that big blue culture was back when, you know, Eli and Coughlin them was the regime, you know? Yeah. And I don't know if Shane is the answer. I think, you know, we've heard about the physical ailments that Mara's going through and his cancer battle and whatnot. And I think that might have an effect on what he's trying to do, because I don't think he feels like maybe he could be in that hands-on deck, look for a new GM at the moment. You know what I mean? Because he's not going to be the one to sit down and not be there for the process. You know what I mean? He's not that type of owner. So I think, you know, Shane might do that. So he's got an opportunity to maybe, you know, like if he could hit on the draft, you know, he could probably hold his position and whatnot. But I think between Harbaugh and Stefanski, like I would love to get one of them, I guess, as our quarterback. I mean, as our coach. I would love Harbaugh, of course. You know what I mean? I think he's our overwhelming favorite. But I mean, there's about 7 other teams that need a head coach right now, and he's probably their overwhelming favorite too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like, and then it could be more depending on the outcomes of these games. You know, if the Bills lose this game, maybe that's a position that opens up, and you got Josh Allen as your quarterback. You know what I mean? If the Steelers lose tonight, maybe Mike Tomlin and them they part ways, and that's another position that opens up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's is not a Green Bay, they lost. Maybe that position opens up. That's something that's been talked about also, in terms of what might happen for the going into the off season. So like, there's gonna be some quality jobs, but it's also the New York Football Giants. And it's like either you want to be down with it or you don't. So it's like I don't understand why you would even think twice about it. But I can understand with maybe some of these other teams opening up and what they're already have in place already might be a little bit more, enticing
Tempting.
than the New York Giants. Exactly.
Easier. It's
Yeah.
it's definitely it's definitely a harder job in the league right now.
Word.
It'd be one of the harder. It would be one of the harder, like, coaching bags, like you taking over type situations.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily an easy transitional, just like, oh yeah, I need you to come in and transition and and implement your system. Like, no, you gotta fucking implement everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's culture change.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No, it is. It is. So, but I think they got a lot of the pieces in place. When you talk about the Brian Burns, when you talk about how Abdul Carter, stepped up and kind of like was held accountable by um Kafka at the end of the season and giving these sit outs for like series and quarters, to stop his habits. And then him at the last game of the season coming in and saying what he is and saying that we should not be here. We the Giants, we should, our season is not supposed to be ending right now. We should be playing, for that bowl. And hopefully we can step that up and make that the new, environment and culture around the New York Giants. And I'm all for that. And I feel like like I said, with Abdul Carter and Brian Burns, and then we have Cam Scatterbull, Malik Neighbors, Jackson Dart, we have other pieces in play, Andrew Thomas on the O-line. The O-line was real good this year. Like we can't even really front on them on how they played, but he is a key, you know what I mean? And keeping him healthy is definitely part of the process, in what they're able to do with him on and off the field. But and even playing hard at the end, you know what I mean? I wasn't even mad. Like, yeah, of course, we knew what was at stake, and that was the number one pick, and what we could have got back before that, to add to the roster immediately. But we get the 5 pick, and honestly, I hope they get one of these wide receivers. When it comes down to it, I hope they get one of the wide receivers, one of them, Tate or some other cat. I can't remember his name, but these are like the top 2 wide receivers ready to go. Like, let's get us another number 1. Let's get us another Malik Neighbors. Let's get this piece that, can immediately make impact with a guy like Dart and open things up for like our runners like Tyrone Tracy and Scatterbull, which, we probably keep both. Scatterbull is that hard nosed run up the middle, or, bang bodies with you and shit like that. And Tyrone, got that as well, but it does have some finesse to him and able to catch the ball out the backfield. So, and well, he gotten better with it towards the end of the season, and some of the plays he went for. So let's just hope that they're able to hit on some pieces on the draft. And we need another cornerback as well. That's something
yeah.
that we need to touch. Like, Deontay Banks, yeah, he had a great last game of the season or whatever it was, but like he's been a mark the whole season, bro. Straight up target. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's like we have to answer that. You know what I mean? Even with all the pressure that we're getting, like we can't allow teams to still have only 3 seconds to get the ball off and they're throwing it to him and is getting big completions. You know what I mean? Like the front 7 are doing their job. We need something on the back end to hold that spot down as well. So
Yeah.
cornerback, shit like that. You know what I mean? So the DBs and a wide receiver, and we could always go more O-line. You know what I mean? But I think that's what I see for the Giants. And And the coaching decision is going to be a big decision. Even Antonio Pierce, you know what I mean? He interviewed for the job. I would love for him to be the DC though. He's an old fucking coach for ours. You know what I mean? He played here. He knows what it is to be a Giant. I mean, he was nice on the defensive side in the Raiders, but you know, that team has been in shambles for a while. They don't even know what they're doing. You know, and I would love for him to be maybe our defensive coordinator. You know, and Mike McDaniels, another offensive mind that just got fired from the Miami Dolphins. You know, I don't think he'll go from head coach to OC. Maybe he'll try to look for another job. But if that doesn't work out for him, I would love to see him as our OC with Harbaugh or Stefanski as our coach. You know what I mean? I think that would be the ideal dream guys for our position and if that happens, I'll go on the limb with another Jones Stradamus, and I will tell you, if those three players, if those three guys, McDaniels, Pierce, get OC and DC jobs for the Giants, and a head coach becomes either Stefanski or Harbaugh, the Giants are a 10-win team next year, guaranteed, without a doubt.
Okay.
10 wins.
I'll take 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a fucking 10-win
10-win playoff team. No, 10 wins in the playoffs though. 10 wins in the playoffs. Like we're a playoff team. We got 10 wins. We on the come up, guaranteed. Mm-hmm. It's been what we've been lacking for a while. You know, from McAdoo to Joe Judge and these other guys, a bunch of first timers that have no idea how to control the room or be leaders of men and shit like that. Like they're not ready for that. You know what I mean? They were coordinators. They need to stay as coordinators and stick to one part of the game and focus on that. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in terms of our counterparts, Gang Green, the Jets, they got the number 2 pick, but I don't know. I mean, Mendoza, after he's played for the college, let's give a quick shout out to Miami and Indiana. That they'll play for the college football championship next week. Big game, but Indiana spanked Oregon the other night. You know, so they was able to, you know, he was able to show why he was the Heisman Trophy winner. 56-22 was the final score. I mean, he threw 5 touchdowns, like nothing but dimes, like all game. You know what I mean? Like. He looked like he got the tools. You know what I mean? I don't know. Pardon me. You never know if it actually transitions into the NFL and whatnot. But
yeah, you never know with these kids,
you
bro.
never know. You don't. You really don't. You got people that have been the man in college and it just doesn't pan out. You know, the game is 100% faster. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where in college you might play a team that has 1 or 2 NFL type players on their roster that you're going against. The NFL has all of them. You know what I mean? That top speed, that top strength, that whatever it is, the NFL's, the whole rosters are made of that. You know what I mean? And that's what really determines if you're going to be able to make that true transition from college to the NFL. You know what I mean? Because it's grown men, nigga. It's a rough sport. You know what I mean? You can't cross them and still dunk. Like that's not going to happen out here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You can't, make a stutter move and act like that's going to be all right. You know what I mean? You can't pull from the 50-yard line and shit, you know? So we'll see what happens. But the Jets, like I said, they need to, well, first of all, I hope what it looks like they're doing is really cleaning house and starting all over with some of the pieces that they have. I mean, they did make some big moves at the end of the season to get a lot of draft equity back. You know, 2 first-round picks. They have I believe they have the number 2 pick and now the number 16 pick in the first round. You know what I mean? Or the 14th pick in the first round, something like that for this season. You need to hit on both of them. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you know, you missed the first-round pick. Mendoza's going to be there. If you'd be willing, you also got 3 first-round picks next year, though. You know what I mean? So you might be able to trade some of those to move up to the first round, to the first pick, if you really want to get Mendoza and give some of that up, if you really feel like he's the man. This year, they don't say that the quarterback class is really that good as other years, but I mean, you did see some people that played so far in these playoffs, like the guy from Ole Miss, Chambliss, and the guy from Oregon that they're predicting to go number 2, Dion. I just said his name before.
Nah, I just love the way you say Oregon.
Oregon. My bad. I guess maybe
No, you
hooking me.
say fine. It's just
You
it's
hooking
a
me.
tomato type situation.
Oh yeah. Word. Hmm. So he went to Oregon, and he's predicted to be the number 2 pick. But I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe they don't take a quarterback. Maybe they get a bridge. Maybe they sign a Kyler Murray. Maybe they sign another one of these other guys, a Malik Willis or something like that. You know what I mean? Where they could bridge or maybe even find one of the ones. I don't think Kyler Murray is that. I don't think Tua Tagovailoa is that. You know what I mean? Some of the other quarterbacks that might shake free, I don't think any of them are going to be that. But like a Malik Willis, I think is good, though, from Green Bay to back up. He's been proven time in and time out when his number is called, ready, just, he not getting no burn, so maybe he'll be able to shake loose and get to the Jets. But maybe this is not their time for the quarterback. That's another decision that's going to be big for them that they have to make. You know what I mean? If it's not going to be Mendoza, then maybe it's not a quarterback at all right now. And you use those picks wisely to fill out other positions that you got. Maybe you get another stud wide receiver also, or an edge rusher or something like that. An offensive lineman. These are the places. These are the positions that's going to set the core. That's going to set the foundation of what your team is going to be and the identity, especially if you're really trying to start over, which obviously it looks like they are. You know what I mean? All they got is like Garrett Wilson and fucking Breece Hall left over and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody else is gone, in terms of their pieces and who they had, like Quinn Williams and Sauce Gardner. But like I said, they was able to make those moves and flip it into some real big assets. You know what I mean? But they just got to hit, and hopefully this regime is going to be able to hit. I mean, Aaron Glenn, he's been a little bit of a suspect first-year quarterback with some of his decision-making, some of his choices with his words after games and whatnot, and pointing blame and maybe calling some players out publicly. You know what I mean? That's not something you really want to do. Like that's something you're probably supposed to keep in-house and whatnot. But
yeah, that's something that shouldn't get out of the locker room.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Even if they did fuck it up, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you shouldn't really do that. But I mean, who knows what's going on there? But hopefully he gets it together and what he's envisioning, and as it comes together, actually lead to something where they could be, competing again in meaningful football. I mean, for the Giants and Jets, we've been two of the worst two teams in like the last decade. If you look up the records in the NFL of the last decade, the Giants and Jets is like 30-31. You know what I mean? Out of 32 teams. Like we've been fucking horrible. There's nothing to root for. Barely any double-digit wins. I mean, like literally your season is over like at Halloween type shit. And before Halloween. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking week 7 and you're 1-6, bro. You're done.
They're already packed up.
You're done. You know what I mean? Like both teams, and it's been hard to watch, man. There's nothing even to fucking root for. You know what I mean? But we see what happens. But change is gonna. The process is here. You know what I mean? I don't want to say trust the process because like the process is right now. You know what I mean? That's just. Are they gonna hit? That's the big question. Are they gonna hit? Can the Giants hit on a fucking coach? Can they hit on a player in the draft? Can the Jets hit on these assets that they got? You know what I mean? In the moves that they made, that's what's going to determine how good these teams are going into next year. And the Jets need a quarterback desperately. That's a big knock against Aaron Glenn as well. That you chose Justin Fields, said that he wasn't coached well, even though he was on Pittsburgh and went 4-2 with Tomlin. You know what I mean? And you got him and he went 0-5 type shit. You know what I mean? 1-5. Couldn't even make it past week 9. So like you got some questions. You got a lot of statements that you need to make Aaron Glenn. You gotta answer those questions, and it's gonna come with your decisions. Because if not, you're gonna be done too. You'll be done in the middle of the season next year. If you
Oh,
start off
100%.
0-5, if you start 0-5 again, and you gotta buy week 7, nigga, you're gonna be gone week 6 type shit. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
I don't.
Mhm.
I'm completely on the same page there. You know, like
Facts.
if business wise, that's just that just be smart business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yeah, cut your losses. That's it. Like, it's
yeah,
over.
that's it.
Like, I'm good.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Mhm.
let's move on into some nicks and dimes.
Nicks and dimes. You
Nicks
got him.
and dimes.
Nicks and
All right,
dimes.
let's get right into it,
Let's get
bro.
into it, bro. Let's get into it, man. Yeah, Nicks and Dimes, you already know. Sponsored by us. Sponsored by us. We don't got Nicks and Dimes. That's not the game anymore. They got dispensaries everywhere. But we here now.
Yes, sir.
And we since we've been gone so long, actually our last episode I listened to it while I was at work the other day just to hear what we was talking about and shit like that. It was actually game 5 of the finals, OKC and Indiana. You know what I mean? So we have a lot to catch up on, up until this point with the Knicks. I would start with Mike Brown.
Okay. All right.
Mike
Let's get right
Brown.
into Mike Brown.
Yeah. Mike Brown. His rotation has been good, man. You know what I mean? The way he gets players in, going 11 deep, things like that, getting the best out of the players. I think that's what we've seen so far, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You know what I mean? And that's been able to carry us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have seen that with Tibbs. We wouldn't have seen Kolek get any burn. You know what I mean?
No.
We wouldn't have
100%.
seen Diati,
Yeah.
Diawara, or whatever his name is.
Diawara.
Diawara. We wouldn't have seen Diawara, get some of his burn. We wouldn't have seen even some of just the other players, Huck Porty and they would only get garbage minutes if that, So with the way he's expanded the roster and the offense that's there, it's been really good. But what we are lacking without Tibbs is defense. You know what I mean? And the lack of defense shows up often. You know what I mean? We've given up like 330-point games already.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points to give up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
130 points is a lot, to the Spurs, to I think the Pistons. You know what I mean? Like that a couple of weeks ago, we played, a couple of days ago, maybe like a week and a half ago, we played the Pistons, and I thought he was going to really do good, and they served us. They're number one team.
Just a quick reference to where we're at right now. Right now we are sitting second in the Eastern Conference, 24-14, 4 games behind the Pistons, who are 28-10. I feel like we are in an okay spot. We have been looking a little stagnant, and I feel like a lot of people are on the same page as you with after seeing us like getting fucking wrecked by the goddamn Pistons. We don't feel too comfortable, with where we're at on paper, Keep going. No.
I was gonna say that I feel like we just fall into bad habits in the game. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like we fall into like, this is where we need Brown to step up and get them out. You know what I mean? This is when you need to call the timeout and get that talking and reestablish what is the game plan. You know what I mean? When you get into this Brunson dribbling a lot, you know what I'm saying? Or just Cat, being careless with the ball. You know what I mean? Like when we're depending on you for a big play in a big moment, you know what I mean? And you're just like throwing it away or losing it on the dribble, this is the type of play that like needs to be timeout, refocus. What are we doing? Get back into it. I think, and not having Hart actually has been big also, man, because Hart is Hart is a catalyst for us on both sides of the, and sets the flow and the tempo. Wow.
Yep.
And the Jaguars retake the lead. Yeah, Jaguars retake the
Ooh.
lead. Buffalo was up 20-17. Jaguars just score 23-20 now, pending an extra point or a 2-point conversion, depending on what they do. 4 minutes and 3 seconds left in the game. So Buffalo gonna have the ball.
Damn.
Buffalo gonna get the ball back. They're gonna have time. I don't know how many timeouts they have. I didn't get to see that. I'll update that when it comes back on the screen. Oh, and they got all 3 timeouts, Buffalo. But so does Jacksonville. So still a lot of time left, a lot of football left. But they take the lead 24-20. 4 minutes and 3 seconds. But back, Hart is big to us. Hart is big. Hart is like, the glue that kind of holds us and keeps people accountable and whatnot. Holds people accountable in game, like in the situation and whatnot. Not after, I'm not talking about after the game pulling someone to the side and shit like that. I'm talking about in the moment right there, like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And losing Shamit, his 3-point shooting, is kind of like, lacked what we've been able to do in terms of opening the court up. But he's been gone for a while. Mitch, like, I understand the minutes restrictions and whatnot, and I understand even the back-to-backs. Like, if you don't want him to play back-to-backs, it's fine and whatnot. But like, we need to get this guy going. We need to have him being able to be in the mix, in the lineup more often than not, more than the 20-minute clip or whatever it is that he's been getting. You know what I mean? Like, he is a true mismatch on the fucking boards, especially offensive rebounding. What he does to us and what he provides for us on second chance opportunities and on the defensive side, where he's just altering shots, making other teams think twice about taking it to the rack on us and settling for jump shots. That's not going to come out in the stat sheet. You're not going to see that. There's no stat that says fucked up their play. You know what I mean? Because that's what he does. He fucks up teams' plays. And we need him, bro. We need him on there. And this is where we're gonna test where Mike Brown is really at, because we have been on a little bit of a skid lately. We have been on. We lost some games. We lost like 4 in a row for a little second. You know what I mean? And now we're on the West, and we're on a West Coast trip. We played the Suns. I think we lost to the Suns, or we won against the Suns and lost to somebody else.
No, we lost it. We lost to the Suns.
Yeah, we beat the Clippers though, right?
Yes.
I think we beat the Clippers. There we go. We beat the Clippers, lost to the Suns. I think we got 2 or 3 more games on the West before we come back. And then when you look at that standings, when you see us at 2, but who's like right behind us, that's Boston. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we was thinking, they lost Tatum. They're not going to be the same team. They might just be a play-in. And no, they're like the 3 or the 4 seed. Jaylen Brown is looking like an MVP type of player right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doing like, they gave it to Jalen Brunson, the player of the month, but there was some backlash with that. I think for the month of December and what Jaylen Brown has done and the change in their record from the start of the month to the end of the month.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of their talent has shown as well, and the light of missing Tatum. You have the rise of Anthony Simmons right now going off over there.
Mm-hmm.
Being a little stat stuffer for me on fantasy, bro. But in general, like they're not even right on our ass, bro. They're tied with us right now. They are 24 and 14.
Yeah.
They hold the third spot just based on wins and losses with us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Celtics are right with us,
Yeah.
So
mm-hmm. So it's gonna be a battle,
Looking at it, if anything, the one team that did kind of fall off was the Cavaliers. You know, so you have the Cavs right now sitting in the 6th spot, with 76ers, Raptors above them, and then us and the Celtics tied, and the Pistons at the number 1 spot.
Yeah. So then it looks like the whole Atlantic Division is tight then. Because if we right there with Boston and Toronto's there and the 76ers is there, we're talking about I said the last team is the
No,
Nets.
100%.
You know, so
100%.
like we know the Nets is
So-
not nothing. So the aside from the Nets, the rest of the fucking division is our playoff teams right now.
Knicks and Celtics 4 games behind. Toronto Raptors 5.5 games behind. 76ers 6 games behind.
All of a sudden.
Cavs 7 games behind. Magic 7.5. Miami
So it's
Heat
everybody's
8.
separated by like 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from Detroit, everybody else, those 2 through 10 seeds or whatever it is that you said, it's only a separation of 4 games. It's still mad early.
Yeah, definitely mad early.
It's still
Definitely mad early.
Yeah, I mean, so this shit is gonna, move around and whatnot, and don't be surprised for some big moves in the playoff in the trade deadline. We just seen Trae Young get traded to Washington. People were saying like, oh, he did him dirty, sending him to Washington, but it looked like this is where he wanted to go. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean,
we send you where you want to go. Yeah, I want to go to DC. Okay.
Him going to a bottom pickings team kind of just basically make sure it moving forward, he's still going to be the face of the franchise. He's not going to be second fiddle to anyone on the fucking Wizards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I think that's what he wants to be. He wants to be that spotlight. He wants to be that main guy. He wants to find a spot or a home like that. You know what I mean? I think it's a shame that he didn't choose that in Atlanta and whatnot, because Atlanta, on paper they do have some nice players on their team, and like Jalen Johnson is a monster, and some of the other pieces that they got, they're really nice, but they just haven't been able to get it together, and maybe it's because of him. Maybe he's the reason why they haven't been able to get it together, and they go and get CJ McCollum from Washington.
I mean, it's not a
fair trade. It's not an even trade. Like McCollum is nowhere near the level of what we think Trae Young is in terms of skill wise. But
if you're talking about the defensive differentials, when you're plus minus defensively, like your bottom bracket with him on the floor, and then your mid tier with him off the floor, the whole team knows. Like when you're out, when you're injured, we're better. Like our opponents scored 20 less points. Right. So like that's the difference. Like their opponents, they're holding their opponents to 104 to 114 points when he's gone, and then when he's there, they're fucking holding their opponents to 140 something. You know what I mean? Like that's the differential right there. Like. So that's the reason why no one on his team has any problems with him going. Like they're like, all right, we'll be fucking fine. Like you just give us anybody that's an okay scorer that could fucking shoot, that's a threat. Like we Gucci, like
facts.
Yeah.
So we see. Well, I can't say I really care, but it is what it is. We see what
there's pluses to him. You know what I mean? Like
no, he's a good player. He's a good player. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, this is what like that was just one move early now before the deadline that I feel like many are gonna happen. I feel like we're gonna have a couple of big splash moves at the deadline. Of some expiring contracts or teams that are not out of it, or this rebuild and things like that, where it's like, or teams like on the cusp looking to put themselves over into immediate, contenders right now.
It seems like everyone's in trade talks right now, including us. The narrative, at least for the Knicks, has really been Cat or Mitch basically getting a new center in. And those two have been in the talks. Cat kind of, I feel like it's more or less a stat thing where people are analyzing his fucking, his stat line, and they're looking at the numbers and going, what? And they're like, all right, well, I guess he might be in trade talks, and then on the other end you have the narrative where Giannis wants to come here or other people want to come here. And you're like, are we trading to get Giannis? Like, is that a good decision to make?
For me, it's a no-brainer. For me, it's a no-brainer. I would trade for Giannis. Yeah, without a doubt. You know what I mean? I would try to keep OG. I would try to get. I think for us, it would have to be like we wouldn't just be able to get Giannis. We would have to get Giannis and somebody else, you know. And I don't think the money matches because the money will match probably straight up Cat Giannis, but I don't think they would do that. They're like, we're not just gonna take Cat for Giannis. Like you got to give us somebody else. You know what I mean? So you would have to give 3 for 2 probably. And if there was 3 for us to give, I think the 3 would be probably Cat, Kolek, and Bridges. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you give up those 3. I mean, you still got McBride to fill in. You get Giannis with OG and Brunson, you know.
But who else are we taking from them?
Yeah, I mean, I would be down for maybe like a Lopez, you know, to fill in for another center spot. You know what I mean? Another big man. You know, a stretch big as opposed to a down low big of what Mitch is. You know, because we've seen Lopez, you know, cash in on Giannis's presence. You know, standing at that 3-point line. You know, and that's not what Mitch does. You know, so maybe we could
return of Bobby.
Or keep Cat and give up Mitch. You know what I mean?
No, I'm saying Bobby gets packaged in that deal coming to us.
Oh yeah, I would take Bobby Portis too. I mean, he's solid. I think he's a solid player. But I mean, I'm just talking about. I'm only saying that only because the money needs to match. I'm not really saying it because
No,
of players,
I know. I'm just talking about possibilities right there. You know.
Yeah, if I could do it for I'd rather actually keep Kolek and shit. If I could just do it for Bridges, now you see. It's hard to get Giannis without having somebody else staying with us, you know? Because in actuality, they probably would want OG, you know, and OG is too valuable to us. We won that trade.
We couldn't, but I don't understand how that would make sense though. Like, because if that's
no, if we get OG,
it would be an OG Giannis trade.
Yeah, we would not give it up, Cat. That's what I'm saying.
Because OG is the highest paid player on our fucking on our team.
Yeah. And he's showing worth it. You know what I mean? We won that trade. He's definitely been better than RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly. As much as we was all fucking butthurt about it. Or at least I was. You know what I mean?
I mean, we have a right to.
Yeah, we was invested. Yeah, I was about to say we was invested. Don't make me fucking. Don't make me, bro. Don't make me remind you, Anthony. Look at this right here.
Oh, hey.
Don't make me remind you. You know what I mean? We was there. Yeah, but I mean, we're going to see what's going to happen with the Knicks, though, in terms of moving forward for the rest of the season, health issues, hopefully none really too crazy, and we could be full strength where we need to be. And the defense, I think the defense needs to just step up, man. I think we need to start answering the call, not being so reliant offensively as the win or the fucking oh, they get it. Oh, 4th and inches. Buffalo goes for it, and they get it. 1 minute and 2 seconds left. Oh, they gave him the touchdown. He gets the touchdown. Touchdown, Buffalo. 1 minute and 2 seconds left. Came back and scored. 26-24, pending. I guess they're going to go for 2 now. I think he would. Just to make them need a touchdown and not a field goal. Oh, yeah, he's still on the ground. I mean, he's still not on the ground. Yeah, I look like a touchdown. Shout out Buffalo, man. All right, so
Buffalo.
I think that's it for the Knicks and Dons, man. Anything else you want to really add to it?
Nah, man. I think that that Cat needs to step his shit up. I feel like more respect needs to be put on Josh Hart's name. I feel like Kolick, Clarkson have been big surprises for me.
Hmm.
Both of
Clarkson
them
has been
have
good. Clarkson's been real good. He's been like money for us, man. Like instant offense. Like I like
and
him.
playing his role.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
know,
no, he's been good,
that's
man.
what I
He's been
want.
good.
That's what I
Like,
wanted from him. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
He's been
and
real good.
if ever in a moment that, you know, like knock on wood, you know, like, you know, Brunson's out for the day, or you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
we got two players that I feel confident that could hold down that
Hmm.
position. You know what I mean?
Hmm. And McBride too. I like them four: Brunson, McBride, Kolick, and Clarkson. I think that's
We've
such a
already
solid.
we
Such a
know
solid
Deuce
core
is
backcourt.
Deuce is solid, bro.
Yeah,
And not only
that's
that, like
just the
Deuce
four
is
of them,
one of
man.
those. He's a playoff player as well. You know,
Yeah,
like Deuce
he,
is gonna in the playoffs. He's gonna come. You know, he doubles up. You know what
hmm.
I'm saying? Like Deuce is double the player in the playoffs, bro. Like
Hmm.
he's just that type of player. You know, he's that Rajon Rondo esque. You know,
Hmm.
he got playoff mode.
Yeah, he does. He does. And you need
You know
players
what I'm
like that
saying?
that could turn it up a notch when it's the highest amount of pressure and the game is on the line and it's a big
Mm-hmm.
moment in a big game. So it's good to have him. It's good to
Exactly,
have him.
dog.
Facts.
Exactly. All
Um,
right. So
let's
what
move
do we want to
on.
get in?
New
Yeah.
York baseball report, man.
Ooh. Okay. Some New York baseball.
Hell
Let's fucking
yeah.
get into it, dog.
Let's do it. Let's
All
definitely do it.
right. Who do you want to start with?
Um, we can start with the Yankees.
Want to start with the Yankees? All
Yeah.
right. Let's start with the Yankees, dog.
Yeah, when it comes to the Yankees, uh yeah, Freed. Like the entire AL East has made moves so far. The Orioles, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Rays. All four of those teams have made moves with additions and subtractions on their team to get better, get cap room, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But big names have signed. Big names have signed to Boston. Big names signed to Baltimore. Toronto was able to keep and re-sign some of their players while getting other players, and the Yankees haven't done nothing. You know what I mean? I think with how they competed and did last year, without having Garrett Cole and whatnot, I think they're coming into the season looking in like we was dominant and wasn't even healthy, and now we're gonna come in healthy and we should be able to be good. With Garrett Cole and Max Fried as our 1-2 punch. Starting every 5-6 games, whatever, the rotation in 4 or 5 games. I don't even know no more. But whatever the rotation is, and they're able to do it. You know what I mean? And they're able to, do what they got to do. And I think that's what the Yankees are banking on. Maybe they might, and they also have question marks, in terms of their roster. Like these are the things that we were saying. Well, we didn't get to really say it at the end of the year, but we was going to say it is like, can Ben Rice be an everyday catcher or first baseman and some of these other players be that as well? You know what I mean? Can Spencer Jones come up and fill up a spot? You know what I mean? Cody Bellinger is a big question mark. He's really good. He's a great player, both sides. 5 tools. Got everything you needed from a player that you want. But the boys and queens looking at him too. And we'll get into that, and some of the moves that they made. But, that's another question mark. What are you going to do with them? Grisham, Trent Grisham, re-signed, and that's going to be something that's, going to be a question mark as well. I mean, he did have a big game, a big season, but, when you gave him the player option at only 27 million after what he did at this, you thought that maybe he was going to. Oh, you thought that maybe he was going to, go elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't. So I think that's what the Yankees' game plan is. Try to see what they already got and what that could be used to fill, and then maybe go after some names. But some names is already moved, and some big players have already been signed and whatnot. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see what that does for them moving forward into this off season, because let's be real, we talking about maybe 4 weeks until pitchers and catchers report. You know what I mean? Because that comes in February. We're already in January, so that's going to happen. And then probably 5 to 6 weeks after that, it'll be, you're already looking at, spring training games going on, getting ready to start the season. So, it's going to come. It's going to come before we know it. And they're going to have to figure something out. And it looks like the Bills pull it off. They pull off the comeback, the upset. They come back and score 27-24. There was about a minute left. Jacksonville's first or second play from getting the ball back to drive, they throw an interception. Buffalo gets it, kneels it out. They're going to get the W, 27-24. Told you Buffalo. Anyway, now where was we at? With the Yankees.
About Yankees.
Yeah. So, question marks. We just have to wait and see now. You know what I mean? The question marks that is going to be answered when they can be answered. If any moves are going to be made and who's going to be our opening day roster. You know what I mean? Because, we do have some talent in the farm system. We do have talent on our roster. There's some Japanese players that want to come. I've seen that. There was a Japanese player or two that wants to come to New York. You know what I mean? So, maybe that's going to be somebody that fills in a spot or a move that we could be on the lookout for making. You know what I mean? And in terms of the Mets, man, I don't really know what they're doing, bro. I really don't know. I was thinking about, I think of Fernando Tatis Jr. as somebody that could be possible to sign there. Bo Bichette, a big name from Toronto, like, who knows if he'll shake loose, that would be somebody that I think they should want to sign there, because they lost Edwin Diaz. He went to the Dodgers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like you're talking about maybe a $10 or $15 million thing that you didn't want to give him, or the year that you didn't want to give him. Same thing with Pete Alonso. You lose him to Baltimore, and he was like he was giving off that Forever Met feeling, that Forever Met vibe, that David Wright type of thing. And
I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, man.
Yeah. And then Brandon Nimmo, he goes as well, and he was one of your best players. So like that
was my favorite Met. The last,
you know what I mean. So
regime,
like,
bro.
Yeah, you know what it is. So it's like like you have a lot of like answering as well. Cohen and company. Because like your fans are not believing in you right now. Like they feel. I would assume that they feel like they don't know what's going on. When you listen to the sports radio in New York and everything like that, there's 1,000 different predictions of what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody knows. They're saying wait and see. Maybe they cleared this space to get a Cody Bellinger also as well. Like that's what I was really talking about earlier when I was talking about Bellinger to the Yankees. Like he could also go to the Mets. Like now, I think now what Cohen really needs to do is start spending the money, and the GM that they have needs to start letting his balls hang and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like you're not in Milwaukee anymore. You're not a small market team no more. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, bro? You got a nigga, your owner has like 60 billion, pardon me, like 60 billion, dog. I'm not saying you're spending all of that, dog, but like, don't sit here and like act like the rest of the league doesn't know like you don't got money to spend, and you sitting here trying to penny pinch for fucking Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz and losing these players because of what? You know what I mean? Like, stop it already, bro. Tell Cohen like, yo, you want to keep Edwin? Like, he was good. Like, should we give him the extra 10? Like, I'm down, and like I think we should do it. Like, do that. The fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, you letting these players walk, and then you trying to build like you in a small market, dog. You're not it's not New York is the biggest market. You're not in You're not in Milwaukee. You're not in Minnesota. You're not in Tampa. You're not in fucking Cincinnati, and on and on. The list can go on. You're not in Arizona. You know what I mean? These are not your small market, local, regional teams. New York is a global entity. There are Mets fans in fucking Japan and Taiwan and Korea and fucking the Caribbean. You know what I mean? Like, stop your bullshit, bro. Like, get it together. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's what needs to
I
be.
mean, that's the reason why he got the fucking team in the first place. You know what I mean? Like,
Or the GM.
yeah, no, Cohen, but
No, that's why he did it. You know what I'm saying? But he's looking for like like he doesn't know the ins and outs. He doesn't really know what's needed, like aside from as a fan and shit like that, to build a roster to win a World Series type shit. But that's what he wants to do. And you built a roster from scratch in a small market team to make a team going to, World Series and all of this other shit and playoffs and things like that. Like, bro, get it together, man. Get it together, man. Get it together, man. Start calling these fucking agents. Start calling these people, man. Get that offer. What they looking at? What they trying to give you? Oh yeah, we got that for you. We got that too, man.
I mean,
we got that and better food, man.
It's looking like a Lindor and Soto squad.
Yeah,
know?
but then you hear even like that. Yeah, but then you even hear from that, like even Lindor and Soto got beef. Like they didn't really get along. You know what I mean?
That's the
and
that's
it's like they get like
rumors that they don't really
they don't really fuck with each other. Yeah, you know what I mean? That like Soto said like he wasn't even the real captain of the team when it's like clearly he's the captain of the team. You know what I mean? He's trying to give somebody else the love on what they do as a captain of the team. You know what I mean? And it's like Soto, that's dumb, bro. Like, I get it. You don't have nothing to prove. You got your ring. You got your shit like that. You know what I mean? But, like, when you look at the history of the Mets and what they was looking for and looking to be and when they signed you, you know what I mean? It was to be so much more, to take that next step. You know what I mean? To be that after just losing in the NLCS. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is going to be the savior to us after being 45 and 24 and June 13th or whatever it was of the fucking season, best record in baseball, 21 games above 500, and then you finish 2 games above 500 and not even in the playoffs. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a horrible fall off. It's a horrible fall off. You know what I mean? You was literally the best team in baseball in June, and you couldn't even make the playoffs in October, in September. You know what I mean?
It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. It's unacceptable is what it is. What it is unacceptable. You know what I mean? To New York and to the fans of the Mets, like you gotta be able to do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? And that's the end of that.
It's a question mark.
No, it is. Because none of them is, you've seen all these pieces leave and you haven't gotten one thing back. And and we're getting closer and closer to the start of the season, and you're gonna look and you're gonna be like, well, who's on the fucking team? And like, why aren't we spending the money? Like, well, what the fuck is going on?
What are we doing here?
And then, like you say that, like, God forbid, like, just for Mets fans, and I'm only speaking as someone concerned for your well-being. If Cody Bellinger winds up signing with the Yankees or another team other than the Mets, they're going to be calling for this GM's job. They're going to be saying, you got to go. You let all of these players go. You let the players that we had go that was like our biggest pieces. Well, not biggest pieces, but like our fan favorites, and you couldn't even re-sign them. And then when it came time to get the piece that's going to take back over on that, you couldn't even come through to do that neither. Excuse me. So it's like, you got to go, bro. You got to go. You got to go. So
it definitely leaves the fans scratching their heads.
Yeah,
going,
of course.
What?
Of course. Like, doesn't even make no sense.
We just traded away a lot of our best players, you know.
No, we didn't trade them, but you didn't trade them away. You just didn't sign them.
Yeah.
None of them got traded. You didn't even get anything back for them. Yeah, but I'm just saying, between Alonso, Diaz, and Nimmo, you didn't get anything for them. All they had to do, all of them signed as free agents somewhere else, other than the Mets.
Yeah.
and all you had to do was pay them or make them that offer. And I think Alonso definitely wanted to stay, but he wanted that 5th year. You know what I'm saying? Diaz wanted to stay, but I think he wanted that 4th year or 3rd year. You know what I'm saying? Or that extra 10 or 15 million. You know what I'm saying? Nimmo, I don't really know what he was, but I think he was kind of like fed up with the locker room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of like the reports of these stories of people not getting along and everything like that. And he was like, you know what, nigga, I don't even need this. I don't even need it. I'll go somewhere else and play. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
not serious to me. You know, and this is like a trickle down effect to what the Mets have been for so long. You know what I mean? Similar to like the Jets, you know, and the Nets. All the Ets in fucking New York fucked up. You know what I mean? And they gotta get it together, man. They gotta get it the fuck together. Word up. So I think that's it for the baseball report.
All right, bet.
Yeah,
So what do you want to get into next? You want to get into some conspiracy corner?
well, I want to shout out the team on your body right now. Pause.
Ooh, okay. All right. So let's get into this let's get into some Islanders talk right now.
Hell yeah,
Get into some
God.
hockey
Hell
talk,
yeah.
bro.
Hell yeah, God. Hell yeah, man. They've turned it around, man. They've been on a good run. Recently playing hockey. You know what I mean? That's kind of like how the conversation I think that we was having offline and whatnot when it comes down to it. Like, you know, there was some question marks going into the season. They did get this 1st round pick. What's his name?
Schroeder? Sorry, Schaefer?
Schaefer. Yep.
Yeah.
So they got this kid
Matthew
Schaefer.
Schaefer.
Yeah, and he's been, you know, phenomenal so far. And I think they're starting to believe, and that's what we're seeing come out into the thing. Who's that? Isn't it? I want to say who their coach is. I don't know.
Oh, the Islanders coach?
Yeah, former player. I wanted to say
Okay.
Fedorov, but I don't know if that's him.
I'll find out right now. Keep going.
Yeah, but I think him coming on changed the attitude of that locker room, the dynamic. You know, he came on late last year. You know what I mean, and now he's been setting the tone. And
Patrick Roy.
Patrick Raw, yeah, that's it. Patrick Raw, former goalie. You know what I mean? He's a goalie for the Colorado Avalanche. You know, back in the day. So yeah, and Montreal, I believe also. So Patrick Roy, I mean, he's spoken for himself, man. We're talking about one of the top goals of all time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And him coming in and setting that tone for the Islanders is basically what you're seeing right now. And I hope it continues to the rest of the season and we're able to, you know, get into these playoffs. You know what I mean? The Rangers, they've been skating on thin ice. You know what I mean? Getting spanked a lot. You know what I mean? Losing some big. They just lost 10-2 yesterday to the Bruins. You know what I mean? So they've been fucking like on the decline, I would say. You know what I mean? I don't think they have.
They don't
They don't
look
have.
good, bro.
They don't have no guidance. I don't think no more. I don't think they're having an identity. I think 2 or 3 years ago they had an identity with where they were and they was able to go to the fucking whatever deep into the playoffs and whatnot. You know what I mean? And they knew who they were. You know what I mean? And then after that moment, like that very next year, they kind of fell off record wise. And ever since then, they've just never lived up to that what they were the year prior to that. And I think they're still just skating downhill. You know what I mean? Like trying to skate uphill, rather, however you want to call it. But they're not really doing what they need to do to be a competitive hockey team. You know, maybe moves need to be made, and maybe they need to get rid of some players to bring back some other assets and look forward to the future and whatnot. I don't know what their records are. Can you bring up the records of Rangers, Devils? I think the Devils is nice this year, though.
I mean, the Devils are just sitting right above them. The Rangers right now are second to last of the Metropolitan Division right now.
All right.
Whereas the Islanders are sitting in the second spot of the Metropolitan Division. So
Yeah,
literally on the opposite end.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, it's good to be an Islander fan right now. It's good to be that. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely, man.
hmm
It feels good. Our players look sick. We look fast. It's crazy how fast we are. Um, Fucking putting up hat tricks every other day, you
hmm
know. And yeah, just looking fucking ultimately looking good.
yeah,
Looking real
and like,
fucking good.
and you know what, and like I say, you know, I'm gonna get back into this. I'm just gonna reiterate this as we see, um, with almost every topic we talked about today. The main or one of the outlying things was the coach. Patrick Roy being the coach of the Islanders now coming in like halfway through last year and then now getting a full season now and seeing what that is translating to is now they're in second place after being a team that was, you know, on the cusp of the playoffs last year, outside looking in. Then you have uh, the Giants and what they went through this year and them desperately looking for the the mind that could put all of their valuable pieces into place to actually be something formidable. You know what I mean? The Jets trying to believe and trust in a process in a player in a coach that is, you know, his first year in doing this, but you know, trying to prove himself as well as find his way along while dealing with a team that just hasn't won in 15 years. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you know, the Knicks with a head coaching change from last year to this year, coach that brung us further than any other coach has done in the past 25 years prior to that. And then just letting him go and going in with this new guy and, you know, now expecting him to take us to the promised land. You know what I mean? After we was, what, 2 games away from that
Mhm.
the year before? You know, so
Yeah.
like, you know, the coaching, even the Yankees, you know what I'm saying? Even the Yankees and the Mets, you know what I mean? The Yankees with Boone and how much he's, you know, relied on these analytics and the question marks that come around it. But like, are you going to just continue to be an above average playoff team, or are you finally going to try to make the effort to get and win that World Series? There's
Yeah, it's
no
like a
getting to it or anything like that. Oh, we made it to the ALCS. Fuck your ALCS, bro.
one step forward, two steps back type of
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, and then you want us to, you know, be grateful for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, bro, like, nah, you know. But like, the key around this is the head coaching. Key around this is the head coaching, and when you hit on the head coaching, you could you could be like Kansas City with Andy
Mhm.
Reid and Mahomes, and now you're going to 5 straight Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Or Spoelstra with the Heat and where what he's been able to do, you know, with and without LeBron and going to finals and shit like that. You know what I mean? And you know, just these minds. You know, Sean McVay with the Rams last night. You know what I mean? Someone that's, you know, young. I mean, he's younger than me. He's only 39. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But he has 9 fucking playoff victories already and a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, like these minds, these people that are willing to think outside the box, willing to change the norm or have different creative ideas that are going to show out and prove why you deserve that spot and what's going to be the difference between your team and somebody else. That's what's shining. That's what's getting the chance. That's what's getting the opportunity. And the quicker teams are willing to now step into this wave or stepping into this rage and getting out of some of the old ways that is like just no longer working is going to be the quicker your team gets ahead of the curve and is playing meaningful games deep into their season and into their playoffs, no matter what sport it is. That's a fact. Feel me?
Hey. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Got a
now.
comment from Teresa.
Oh shit,
That's nice.
baby girl. So
All
let's
right.
do let's now we could do conspiracy corner. Ooh. Ooh. Conspiracy corner. But I want you to join me on this. I don't know what's a conspiracy. I don't know if it's necessarily conspiracy and whatnot, but there's been, like Ant said early in the show, there's been a lot of things that's going on in this world. You know what I mean? And these are crazy times. You know what I mean? And we've gone through crazy times, so many amount of crazy times that it's like we kind of like sort of become numb to it. You know what I mean? But you still got to pay attention to it. Like what Trump did with Maduro from Venezuela and basically doing a coup in the middle of the night and removing him from power and bringing him to New York to, I guess, serve justice for like drug trafficking laws and whatnot. I mean, if he did it, I guess, yeah, you could do that. But it's like, isn't that supposed to be like a United Nations thing? It's United Nations that police the world
Yeah,
on
it's a completely
not you just
it's
run up
illegal.
in there and take their president and shit like that, and then blatantly like go in the press and say, no, we need the oil. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like outlandish, and it's like the reason why so many countries around the world hate America. You know what I mean? Because of this type of thing that gets done and shit like that. But yeah, at the same time, it's like China and them didn't really leave us no choice when you think
No,
about it.
but
You know what I mean?
in this situation, you're looking at it like, all right, like in better yet, in previous situations, it has been usually terrorism or something fear related. But in this situation, they're basically using drugs as the reasoning for it.
Yeah.
So there's no precedent. This hasn't happened before.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a normal thing because it's illegal.
Facts.
This is a violation, of
No, it is.
rights.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to be allowed to just go into another country and just
remove
take
their
their
ruler.
president,
Yeah.
remove their ruler and arrest them
Mm-hmm.
for something that they've been accused of.
Yeah, it's like it's OD.
Yeah, and they just make it's not like the accusation was floated around for a while. Like, no, this is like something that they just made up.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Well, I
also
mean, I think the accusations was there, but I think the accusations was made in like as like a setup. You know what I mean? Like you see the accusations were being made because they knew that this could possibly be the outcome. So it's like, well, let's start painting the picture now. So then when we do it, we have
Yeah, I mean the narrative was
exactly of
when
it
they
being.
started holding their oil tankers and saying that they were running drugs from their oil tankers. So like it's quite obvious, they're the largest holder of oil in the Western Hemisphere, so the
But
interest is to own that oil and to hold and to basically be the person that's the
distributor.
the distributor of that oil.
Yeah, but the thing is also
And
is that like their biggest exporter is China and Russia. So with them holding all of that oil, is like China and Russia is like their two main buyers. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I think what we're seeing in front of our eyes right now is like the division of the world. Like if there is going to be like this World War III or whatever it is, like you're seeing like America's trying to keep all the assets that we have on this side. That's why they're trying to go after Greenland as well. You know what I mean? That whatever natural resources they have is on our hemisphere, is closer to us. We need to take hold of that just in case. You know what I mean? And I think that's why they're doing what they're doing right now. You know what I mean? Taking all wanting to control the Panama Canal or whatever it is. Like things that we've seen, within the recent times and as China and Russia try to, take a stronger stronghold of what they got going on in that side. You know what I mean? Like with us doing this, I could see now China trying to invade Taiwan and us not being able to do anything about it. You know what I mean? Of what's going on, and Russia still trying to get into Ukraine because they're basically trying to do the same thing that we're doing over here, but we'll see if Europe could go in. And then you have a lot of like the whole Africa is big, you know, and they got a lot of like resources over there with like Nigeria, and they got oil over there, you know.
Yeah.
So then you would have to now assume that like they're gonna try to not to go to Nigeria, fucking China and them. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have to source this out. You know what I mean? Like what they're gonna be losing and now trying to gain back from Venezuela, America. That is, you know, China will be now doing try to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what they lost and now how ways that they could get back. You know. So it's a crazy time in terms of what we're seeing in this world. You know what I mean? And then you have just all the bullshit that goes on over here. All these ICE agents. That lady that got shot in fucking Minneapolis. You know what I'm saying? That was fucking off the fucking
Heartbreaking.
hook. Yeah, like off the fucking hook. Like law enforcement needs better training, bro. They need better training. It just can't be, you know, lethal force every time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you gotta use your mind. You know what I mean?
it's
I know it's
it's
quick
already
decisions,
it's on
but
Gestapo level. It's on it. This is bullshit.
Mhm.
This is not what we should be doing. And
Right.
people are like, oh, that's not that. It's not that. It's total. We're slipping into fascist territory because
Yeah,
that's
we are. Hell
fascism
yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that they're masked, you know, the
Mhm.
fact that they're all wearing masks,
Mhm.
you
Can't be
know,
identified. None of that.
they can't be identified, but yet they could do whatever the hell they
They
want.
want. Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, yeah, nah. They apparently don't live by morals.
Mhm.
And they don't really have any real clear directive.
Yeah.
There's no real they're just
Yeah.
there
They
to
just
cause
go into these
chaos
places. Yeah. They just go into
and to
fucking
cause fear.
churches and supermarkets and schools
Yeah.
and all of these places just try to go.
Going into safe places and making them not safe.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Yeah.
And causing people
So
to fear for their life. But it's also like, but it's like, but then who is like the target as well though. You know what I mean? It's like clearly your targets are like Latino people. You know what I mean? And maybe some Muslim people. You know what I mean? But like the
but
same like
in general, dog, like it's not they're not the enemy. You know?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you
They're
just uh huh.
they've nenever been the enemy. You know,
Nah.
that's us. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? So I
hmm
can't I look at it like, you know, like it kind of goes against American ethics, and I feel like he's just feeding everyone that has fed him.
hmm
So right now we're in a situation on both ends, you know, like with this whole ICE thing, he's just feeding his whole racist back,
hmm
nationalists,
Yeah.
like America first, you know, build a wall,
Yeah.
supporters.
hmm
And then on the Venezuela thing, he's feeding his oil backers, you know, all the oil execs, all the oil barons that have funded the Trump campaign and continue to fund Trump. Like this whole move was just to help them, you
Right.
know. We, you know, not that long ago we had a similar situation where we, what was it, $2 billion to over $2 billion that we gave Argentina
hmm
to help basically a stock
hmm
individual, but an investor that who's also one of the largest Trump supporters.
hmm
And he was the sole individual that made the most money off of Argentina getting $2+ billion from the U.S.
hmm
government. You
Yeah.
know, it's a
That.
bunch of moves to
hmm
help all of his backers, all of it,
Yeah. That's what it feels like. I think you're right.
all of it.
I haven't really looked at it like that, but that's why thank God we have somebody in. I know some people are not really happy with him, but Ma'am Donnie, the mayor for New York, you know, is hopefully going to be the cornerstone to the change that starts to happen across this country and whatnot. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
too many people, they're not, you keep on, a lot of people vote on race, and you really need to be voting for class. You know what I mean? Like, when you're the poor, you should be voting for the people that's going to be trying to do the most for the poor, because where Trump might be your same color skin, he is not really trying to pass the laws that's going to try to help you to be better, or take the next steps to live a better life, like
Yeah.
save up for a house, get a good job, you know what I'm saying, get life insurance, get that generational wealth going and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what socialism is about. That's what Mamdani is about, to a certain extent, and that's what we need. That's what we need to see. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just corporate lobbyists. You know what I'm saying? That that really set the tone of everything that's being done. Because of their profit margins. And it's continuously
We live
those
live in a
numbers.
sea of billionaires,
Yeah,
and we're all
and
just in this pot trying to survive.
yeah,
Like,
mhm,
and it's not like this is not. It's not irregular to think that we should be taxing the rich.
it's not. Yeah,
It's not irregular. It happened before in history for a long, long period of time in American history. And America benefited greatly from it. We had the booms of the 50s and the 60s. And not only that, like, as soon as we got rid of it, we went into fucking decline. The our whole country went from being like beautiful to being completely shit and crack ridden.
Yeah.
So we're literally like the only people that are benefiting are is a small group of people, and they're just getting wealthier and wealthier, and then we're all just sitting here rotting, and it doesn't have to be that way, and it never had to be that way.
No, yeah. No, it's because they want it that way. They want it that way.
Yeah,
It's not what it has to be. It's
100%.
not has to be. It's like, they want it that way, but it's like, sooner or later, like, the people are gonna wake up. You know what I mean? At least I hope they do. You know what I mean? I hope.
And then it's
like,
not.
You
It's
don't
not,
really have a
it's
choice.
not drastic. It's not drastic to want 20. I would say $2 million of someone that's making $2 billion a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're making $2 billion a year, I'm gonna want $2 million.
Just those companies too, because like when you see an Amazon make profit fucking whatever $1 billion, like, I'm not even gonna bring it up to that, but like when you see them in their profits for the year is $15 billion or something like that, you telling me you can't take 5 of that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like you taking half or whatever like that, but the dude got $15 billion in profits. That's his money. You know what I mean? You can't take $5 billion from him, and regardless of the amount of jobs he's created, regardless of the amount of things that he's created, he's done all of that and still made $15 billion.
We've
so why
created
is he
too many workarounds.
Yeah, there's too many
workarounds.
No, but that's
for
the lobbyists.
These
that's
dudes.
The lobbyists. That's
these
the
dudes
lobbyists.
to scheme
they pay to keep
and
those
to make
laws
more
in
money.
place. Yeah, they pay to keep those laws in place so they can still keep having loopholes to make their money, while we sit here like fucking idiots, fucking arguing about the wrong shit. Just arguing about the wrong shit. Mad because a gay person got married and shit. You know what I mean? Like who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? And then and then when you even talk about the media and everything like that, we know the one entity that runs that too, man. And they the ones causing the problems in Israel. You know what I mean? So, we don't get the clear message. People don't get the clear message, and unless you're smart enough to think outside the box, where you've actually done some reading or done some research or seen some things or read up some things on things that were actual events that actually happened in our history, in our country, or at the hands of us in other countries, and you will be oblivious. You will never believe what we're capable of, and you will still continue to live hibernated, not understanding what the real problems are that we face every day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like I said, I hope Mamdani is changed. Like, New York voted for him because we was tired of the bullshit left and right. That's all they've given us. They've given us 2 choices, and they both haven't done nothing. You know what I mean? I've been a big Bernie Sanders supporter. This is what he's about. You know what I mean? And hopefully Mamdani could just do a couple of things and get him in the right direction. Like socialism, you know what socialism? Fucking free healthcare. free education,
Mm-hmm.
going to
Yeah.
college for free. Like, excuse me, like, what is wrong with that?
Yeah.
So many countries have this. It's not like it's something that's far-fetched, like nobody does this and we're trying to change the world. No, nigga, like 40 countries in the world at least have these same things in place and there's no problems.
No,
There's
I mean,
no
but we
problems.
also we live in a world, or at least in a country, where we demified the term in general. You know, so
Yeah,
we
because everything is
demified it,
capital.
so
Because
we don't
everything
even
is about capital.
recognize that libraries is a socialist. You know,
Mhm.
having a library, a free library, that's a socialist program.
Yeah.
You know, and we've had that for how long?
Yeah.
Having parks,
Free
that
lunch.
is a socialist. That is a
Yeah.
socialist program. We're
Mhm.
paying
This
for
so
parks.
you know what it is?
You know,
The socialism is never put out there as what socialism is. It's
no,
always put out there and under something else. You know
it
what I'm saying? But
it's only put
convenient,
out
is it
there when
always
it's
used?
exactly
It's only when
when
it's
it benefits
convenient when it's
somebody.
used.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But other than that, it's like no, you're wrong. We can't do this. We can't do that. It'll fuck everything
Yeah.
up. You've seen it in history. Like no, we haven't.
Yeah.
Not to that extent. And you just
School,
keep on.
public
Yeah.
school,
Yeah.
public school is a socialist program.
Mhm.
Your kid is going and attending a socialist program. You
Yeah.
know, like I attended a socialist program.
Yeah.
You know, like I had
Mhm.
socialist fucking healthcare like my whole childhood. You know,
Yeah.
like so it's one of those things that like we're
No, it's just that you know what
demifying
it.
something that's already been in practice.
No,
that
you know
people
what it.
benefit from.
You know what it is. No, it's just that people they put it out there. They label it as lazy. You know what I mean? Like food stamps is also socialism, but people get it. They say, "Oh, you get food stamps because you don't want to go to work, because you don't want to get a job." You know what I mean? But that's not really the issue. It's just,
No.
the problem is that you don't have a living wage where people could actually go to work and make enough money to sustain where you could actually have enough money, not have enough money to buy food to eat. But so you try to get on the food stamps, but the problem is that the food stamps only gives you, or they'll give you mad food money as long as you don't make a certain amount of money. You know what I mean?
The person that's listen. It also, in situationals where that's a narrative, the only person that is literally spewing that out of their mouth, all right, is the person that's not fucking working.
Yeah.
All right, because the person that's working is too busy to even have that fucking opinion in the goddamn fucking first place.
Yeah.
You know, the person that's working and actually busting their ass doesn't even give a fuck about the person that is unemployed trying to look for fucking work. They know what it is.
And,
you know, and the only person that's judging has a fucking goddamn like has the benefit of being able to judge, you know, like God forbid. It's usually someone that is, you know, either well off because of their family or married to someone who's wealthy, or you know what I mean, like or a child of someone that is wealthy that usually has that opinion, you know, and that's because they have the mental security of finance. You know, they're like, I'm always going to be good, you know, so unless I can have this terrible shitty fucking opinion about people.
Yeah, they don't want to do it. When in actuality, really, that's why when we talk
you're
about
lazy,
like
fuck you, no, I'm not.
No, the reality is like, you know, the majority of people that live in America, they just want the same opportunity. They don't want a free handout. They don't want to do nothing. They just want to be able to work and save and give the same and live into move into a good school district to raise their kids and things like that. You know what I mean? Like these are the type of things that they're looking for and trying to do, and own a house and like I said, build this generational wealth that could be passed on so that when you die and your kids and your grandkids have something to fall back on when you fucking bought a house for $300,000 and now when you die it's 1.2 million and they're able to fucking sell it because nobody lives around there no more, but they're able to sell it for $1 million and split that shit 3 ways and now everybody got $300,000. You know what I mean? And that's because your $300,000 that you paid off for your house, you know what I mean, that you worked fucking 25 years to do, is now fucking tripled and it gave all your kids fucking the same amount of money that you had to work hard for in one transaction. That's what we're looking for. That's what everybody wants. That's the American dream, not this fucking become rich or whatever like that. You know what I mean? Being rich is far-fetched. Nobody becomes rich. You know what I mean? You become rich when you win the lotto. You know what I mean? And that's one in fucking 240 million type shit. You know what I mean? That's why the fucking so many people don't win every week. Crazy. But yeah, man, we gonna see. I think that's the end of the Jones hour, man. The fucking return, dog. The triumphant return. Season 5, episode 1. My man Ant Acid. What the fuck is the deal? In the building. Jonesy Dos Veces in the building. We back. I'm happy, man. Today was a great show.
My guy.
Facts.
All right.
All right. We out, bro. Peace, love, and soul, y'all. Catch us next week.
Peace.
Probably be on YouTube and IG. You already?
Yes, sir.
Facts.
You already know.